friends, welcome back to Spiritism for All, and today we'll finish the study of this marvelous book behind the scenes of obsession with the second part of the last chapter, Redemptive Commitments. This marvelous book was produced by the psychophony of the medium Divaldo Pereira Franco on the right, and the spiritual author is Manoel Philomeno de Miranda on the left, and it was the first book that they produced together. It's an excellent book, as you could see through the study of the book, through the videos that we produced. If you accompanied us from the beginning, you could see this marvelous drama that help us to understand the obsession. The book brings us lots of informations about the obsession in technical terms relating to the Spiritist doctrine, and give us marvelous examples of how it affects us, how obsession affects us all, and how obsessors are well prepared and well trained. So we must do the same on our side. We must study a lot, learn and study books like this, and Manoel Philomeno offers us almost 10 books or more than 10 books which are dedicated to these studies about obsession and disobsession. So let's proceed to our last video. Thank you very much for watching us. So we are continuing the last chapter, Redemptive Commitments, and as you remember, we are in a meeting in the spiritual side in the headquarters of União Espírita Baiana, and Brother Glaucus, the stupendous benefactor, is organizing the meeting. Let's continue. The meeting was presided by Brother Glaucus, the noble mentor, who had commanded the aid and studies from the amphitheater, incorporated into the work of disobsession of the Soares family, attending a superior determination. After a beautiful prayer and a very hard speech, he explained the aims and objectives of the meeting. He ended his term of stay among us for that job. The services proceeded with the expected successes. It was necessary, however, to define roadmaps for the future. First aid preparations were finalized for the various discarnate ones involved in the dramas of the characters presented there. Some had already received the appropriate treatment and found themselves supported in fraternal circles in the spirit world, where they got the help and clarification they needed. There was, however, something more to be done. After the explanation, Brother Theophrastus and Guilherme were brought from another room in the house by kind nurses, who accommodated them in the seats reserved for both. Adalberto, beside Mariana, automatically took her hand as if to avoid any unnecessary suffering for the bride. Ana Maria, recognizing her old love, turned livid. Mr. Mateus, faced with the unexpected presence of Guilherme, as long as he was not using full lucidity, seemed uneasy. Brother Glaucus took the initiative again, clarifying. Here we are several enemies from a while ago, loves from the past, brothers from the future and forever, on the path of evolution. Look at this phrase. Enemies from a while ago, loves from the past, brothers from the future and forever on the path of evolution. Hates and passions, longings and tendernesses are stages to overcome on the route to the great love that one day will unite us all as true brothers. Never mind the shadows, considering the sovereign light that shines upon us, urging us forward. Let us forget about the sorrows that are disturbing clouds. Let us open our hearts and minds to the hope that is the seed of life germinating in the soil of our spirits for our benefit. True love is not enclosed in certain expressions of feeling, which developed selfishness and an aesthetic possession. Rather, it spreads into multiple manifestations in charge of expanding the treasured resources of affection, traveling in the manifestations of blood through the family in different positions, children, parents, brothers, relatives, or outside of it in the condition of loves that embrace in new communions and effusions, experimenting, learning, and valuing opportunities. Circumstances and places are chairs and lessons of the great school of evolution. We are all born and reborn to sublimate until liberation. Let us not grieve them. Let us value the opportunity and accept the evolutionary imposition as a blessed guideline for ourselves. Jesus is our door. Let us go through it, following his footsteps. We all kept waiting moved. Life ties and unties, writing in the pages of each one of us the very acts that awaits us inescapably. Inviting Mariana and Adalberto, who rose followed by Ambrosio, the loving assistant, Brother Glaucus introduced Guilherme to the young man, asking him for fraternal receptivity since he had to be reborn in his home due to the urgent need for his evolution. Victim who, due to the levity of himself and Mariana, turned to be the tormentor of the girl and of himself, should be reborn in her arms as a suffering son in need of immense affection and affectionate protection. Visibly tormented, Guilherme lowered his eyes and, trembling, could not control the abundant tears. Mariana came forward and enveloped him in an embrace of pure tenderness. Suddenly adorned with the faint light originating from her solar plexus, with a bluish-white coloration, she framed her former suicidal husband and spoke equally moved. Let's enjoy the lesson, my friend. Let us unite our pains into one pain and reorganize our past into a promising future. A different light shines upon me today in the spirit. Lead me to a new ethic of life. Other purposes encourage me in my heart. A different sun warms my hope. If our today is marked by abundant tears, our future awaits us with smiles. Unable to be a vigilant wife to you, I will try to be a caring mother. Help me with your forgiveness and favor me with this opportunity. Our Adalberto, as I have a feeling, does not appear in our destiny as a stranger, an adventurer who will steal from us the best life opportunities. He is an old friend who has his destiny intertwined with ours. You wanted to be born in my flesh, I remember, as a result of the unlawfulness to torment me, avenge, and torment you. Jesus, allow us to fulfill your desire, not as you would like, but as a duty. You will be our son in an honorable marriage, and you will return to Father's arms like the grandson who will love him and receive much love from him. He too has changed. You also changed. We are all changed. Now everything is different, very different. Guilherme let himself be led by that voice of tender kindness and surrendered to the strength of true love. Ambrosio went to take Dona Rosa and Mr. Mateus and brought them to the group of inconfabulation. The venerable lady looked at Brother Glaucus, who understood her intimate desire, nodding with a slight smile. The old lady touched the future grandson with delicate hands and said, "You will be my son, the joy of our old age, as you were the concern of our days gone by. I will have in you the smile of my tired heart, and Mateus will find in your youthful restlessness the reasons for joy that for many years his aching heart did not experience. He too has suffered a lot, and hopes that your small hands of a child will dry his sweat and the many tears he will shed. He will see you as someone who breaks out of a distant past, thirsty for love and also loving." Sorry, my friends, I moved. Mr. Matthews, speechless and little embarrassed, awkwardly touched his former adversary and remained silent. Brother Glaucus intervened. "Everyone will meet again later, as if you have arrived from an imprecise dream with confused contours. However, with fond memories of this morning still immersed in darkness, in which we talk and outline our redemptive future. Guilherme will be taken to the necessary treatment in a specialized organization on this side and will receive preparation for the next incarnation." They were separated, returning to their places. Brother Glaucus took the former magician of Huon, who was unhappy, looking down, with an unspeakable suffering stamped on his face, and brought him close to Ana Maria. Touching the girl, he spoke to her. "I give you back your unfulfilled love. You have him in your mother's womb and in the arms of tenderness. You will breastfeed him and give him the organic form. He, however, will have countless limitations of a varied nature, demanding sacrifices and vigils from you. He may not be able to stand on its first attempt of rebirth. His fluids will possibly intoxicate the weak form of the fetus poisonously, but he will return, yes, to your yearnings, to your anxieties. First, he will sleep a long sleep in your sphere of action, to forget and start again without the weight of burning memories. Your love will help him to carry the burden of his own pains. But do not go alone. Your spiritual friends will help you, and we will all pray for you and for him. Ana Maria touched the face of her unhappy affection. She mixed hers with his tears, which flowed silently and painfully. "Help me, beloved Tell," she said slowly, laconically. "Help me with your vigor, your enthusiasm, and your wisdom. You who were always more eloquent than me. Help me with your presence and don't leave me alone anymore, because I couldn't bear it now that I've found you again." "Ask God," he replied, plaintive and weak, "not to me. I am unhappy since you didn't fall so much. You didn't commit yourself as much as I. I am now very weak, defeated by myself. Pray to him, you who will be a mother, and the mother is always blessed. Pray for both of us." Ana Maria received the mental influence of Brother Glaucus, who powerfully inspired her. Moved, the ex-leper replied, "If we are weak in strength, our love is strong in hope. Our weakness will be our resistance, because we will depend on and thus help each other." Her face relaxed, and she almost smiled. She caressed the sweaty forehead of her love and concluded, "Everything that we have not had until now, tomorrow will help us to possess. We will be more intertwined than at any time. For you, I will also receive in my arms Jean." "Jean?" "Jean?" asked surprised the spirit. "Yes, Jean Villeman, remember? I pledged to help you too, and so our happiness will be spotless. By helping him, we will help each other. He was mean because he let his love for me drive him crazy. Save the proportions, was not also madness our love? In this way, we will regroup and march together." Strongly impressed by the inspiration of the emissary of light, she concluded, "I learned, when I was studying the gospel as a child in Huan, this concept that I never forgot. When I looked for God outside of myself, I couldn't find him. When I looked for him inside me, I had lost him. I decided to love and help my neighbor, and I found myself, God, and my brother. Looking for John and helping him, the three of us will find ourselves in happiness." Brother Theophrastus nodded wearily, his head resting on the shoulder of the once hapless bride. The benefactor Glaucus lovingly explained, "Jean could not participate in this meeting, as he is in treatment. Our redemptive commitments also draw us afflictions and rescues. These will not be romantic incursions in the Garden of Delights or the oasis of relaxation. These will be tasks and responsibilities that we assume before ourselves. We can succeed, we can fail, depending solely on how we retrace the path. Love will help us, without a doubt. It is also worth remembering that we have not known how to properly value the concessions of true love, and thus our dream of love will also be a ministry of sacrifice and renunciation, heavy tributes of redeeming pain. Let us keep in mind the necessity of prayer and work as a means of sustaining the faith in the rough times that will undoubtedly arise. Other loves and other disaffections will rise in front of us. Our past is not all represented here. Let us strengthen ourselves in the good, as only the good will properly strengthen us for the coming clashes. Let us ask the Father to bless our purposes of light, and let us respect the glory of our happiness in the future. Concentrating for a long time, the benefactor began to reflect silver light that flowed from his brain, dressing him completely. The humble room became bright, and we had the impression that a subtle aroma perfumed the air. Transfigured, the messenger prayed, Lord Jesus, excellent friend, we arrived tired from the path traveled, bringing dust turned to mud at the feet of the soul, thirsty and wounded, empty-handed and torn. Fallen, our forehead does not lift to look at tomorrow. Slumped shoulders cannot bear the burden of our own debaucheries. Help us, Heavenly Benefactor. It's not the first time we've forgotten you by getting involved in crime. It's not the first attempt we've made with no success. It's not the first opportunity we've missed fired by the madness of the eye. Pity us even more. We stare at the sky and our eyes don't see the stars. We look at the day and the sun blinds us. We follow the route and stumble without sight of the ground. We think of you and your light shines in our spirit. Support us, Maker of life. The day of the new opportunity dawns, and soon we will dive into the mighty river of reincarnation. We will find the depths calling for us, and the pain claiming us. We will meet hatred outraging our acquisitions of love, and suffering hindering our advancement. Give us your protective hand. We are what we were. Help us to be what we ought to be. We give our lives to you. Save us, Jesus, through redemptive work. When the messenger got silent, our eyes were dazzled. We received a visit from heaven, so that we might have the strength to continue our duties on earth. The time for farewells has arrived. With a shuddering heart, we embraced the noble brother Glaucus. He smiled kindly and confidently at all of us. The group was being returned to their homes. The brothers who would reincarnate were assisted by different spiritual assistants who participated in the countless tasks, and they were transferred to the greater world. Saturnine and Ambrosio led us home, as did the other members of the disobsession work. The mantle of night was being lifted by the gold light of the sun, and the clouds played with shadow and light in the feast of the day. The perennial tomorrow with Jesus awaited us. The end. My friends, thank you very much for watching us. Please forgive me for my bad and rusty English. I tried my best to bring you those videos. And Our intention here in the Spiritism4All Group is to continue to produce other translations and other videos, firstly dedicated to the works of Manoel Philomeno de Miranda relating to obsession and disobsession. Thank you very much for watching us. If you like this video, please leave us a like, share with your friends, leave us your comments, and subscribe to the channel to help us to grow. Thank you very much.